Okay, so this is not a seasonal DIY, but I am using a seasonal piece of decor from the Dollar Tree. So I had this in my craft stash. This was from this year, from the Christmas collection, and it just said home for the holidays on it, and it had a paper on it, and so I was able to peel up that paper and give it a quick light sanding. This is the back of it. And so I figured while I have my craft paint out, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a coat of paint just on the top because I'm gonna paint it another color. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get that roof all painted. And this, even though I like this wood, but it'll look more cohesive once I'm done if I paint the whole thing black. So while that's drying and I have the black paint out, I have this here crate that I'm going to be upcycling, and since I have the paint out already, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it a coat of this paint as well. Okay, so while my crate is off to the side drying, and this is how the roof turned out now that I given it that coat of paint, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna come in with some of this here white paint, and I'm just gonna give a nice generous coat to the entire house. Okay, so here's a look at that house. Now that we got it painted, I gave it the coat of white, and I like that you can still see some of the grain or the wannabe green because it's not real wood through the house. So I'm running low on vinyl and I didn't want to stress myself out too much, so I did have this pre-cut vinyl peel and stick from the Target dollar spot. I had this in my stash for a long time already, so I think I'm going to put the word welcome up here, and then there's a story behind this. So I'm creating this as an addition to a housewarming gift basket that I'm putting together for my oldest daughter who recently purchased a new home, and I'm very, very proud of her. And so there is a little story behind this because she's the mother of my 4-year-old toddler grandbaby who's obsessed with the newest Disney movie called Encanto. And if you're not familiar with Encanto, Encanto is the movie is based on a house that has magic powers, and most of the residents who occupy the house all have a special magic power except for the main character who's trying to figure out what her magic power is. And aside from everyone else having magic powers, so does the house. And the name of the house is called Casita, which is Latin for house, as in mi casa, su casa. The movie is a Colombian-based movie, and it's musical, and my granddaughter just loves it because of all the music. So I'm going to make this her casita. So it's going to say, welcome to our casita where the magic begins. I cut out these 3 vinyls on my Cricut, and then I'm gonna integrate it with the one from Target and see how it all comes together. Although it doesn't say anywhere on its packaging that you need to use anything to transfer the image, but I decided to treat it the same way as I would my regular Cricut vinyl, and I just put a layer of this magic cover that from the Dollar Tree that I use as a transfer sheet, only because the details were too intricate for me to peel it off one by one, and I was afraid of messing up this little scroll thing here. So I went ahead and I centered everything to the best of my ability, which means eyeballing it because I never measure. And so I went over it with my Cricut scraping tool, and now it's a matter of peeling it up to see how it adheres. This is my first time using this on a painted surface, so far so good. And it looks like it wants to stay down, except for right here. I spoke too soon. So I'm just gonna give it another little rub. And there you have it. This is the one from Target Dollar Spot, and it adhered nicely. So here's the 2 hour. And I hope you're able to see it. It is coming out on camera. Okay, so we have that one. Okay, here we have Casita, Carefully, that's that one. And then last but not least is Where the Magic Begins. And of course, it wants to give me a hard time. So we're going to continue to take our time, because one thing you don't want to do is be in a rush when it comes to vinyl transfer. You cannot be in a rush because it'll just mess up your project. And there you have it. I love it. It just makes me want to sing. We don't talk about Bruno, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno from the movie. I love it. I love the way it came out, and I know my daughter's gonna love it too. Man, I am heated right about now. So I decided that it was looking a little bit too plain for me. And I remembered that I had purchased this ribbon that says home on it from the Dollar Tree. And I wanted to embellish it a little bit, but let me just take it back a minute. I was too lazy to bust out my hot glue gun, and this was the closest thing that I had next to me, this super glue gel, and I ended up fusing my finger to the scissor, and I literally must have pulled off my fingerprints because my hands are just a mess right now. And in all that chaos, I thought I had hit record, and I didn't, so I didn't record myself attaching this. But basically, I put a little piece of that Dollar Tree vintage contact paper, the black and white. I just cut a little piece and put it on top of the chimney here. And then this is just one of those Dollar Tree wired pitberry garlands. So I just took a little bit and I wrapped it around in a circle, and I made a little wreath. And then I created a bow with the same hanger that I used for the wreath. I created a little bow to put on top. And then I added some black jute twine on the bottom, and I just tied it off in the back. I didn't glue it or anything in case she doesn't like it and wants to take it off. Plus, I didn't want to touch that glue anymore after that happened to my finger. So now I am officially proclaiming this a finished, completed project, because I am not messing with this anymore. It cost me my fingerprints. So I hope you like the share.